Hi, I'm Rockcan, and this is my highlight video for week 1 of my Slime Rancher bingo tournament. This is just a friendly competition within the speedrunning community, and all of the runners' info will be in the description. Let's get to the first race. 4, 3, 2, 1, start. For our first race, we have Famaro versus Jogge. To start the race, they both go for the pink Gordo, and continue through the any % route to get Honeyboom Largos. Notice that when Jogge gets their upgrades, they avoid buying the tank booster and earn their first square. Famaro buys the Overgrowth, making progress towards their first square. Jogge then buys a Silo to begin work on their second square and locks into row 4. They then buy the Grotto in order to grab the Nightlight, making progress towards their third square, having 4 slime toys. While this happens, Famaro pops the Tabby Gordo, giving them their first square. They then continue into Ring Island to pop the pink Gordo, giving them 3 of their 8 total and locking in to the 5th row. Jogge returns home with the Nightlight, and Famaro buys the Docks. Then Jogge buys the Docks to get their second slime toy, the Rubber Ducky, while Famaro buys the Lab, earning their next square. Famaro then runs to the Grotto, purchasing it as the final piece for their third square, and then starts upgrading their corral. Famaro's last square, Pop 8 Gordos, is usually a long one for most players. But unfortunately for Jogge, Famaro has lots of experience with the All Gordos route, and even held the world record. Jogge collects their third slime toy from the Dry Reef, while Famaro starts their Gordo hunt in the Indigo Quarry, and gets their 4th Gordo. As Jogge gathers plorts, Famaro pops their 5th and 6th Gordo. Jogge starts opening the Ancient Gate, and Famaro buys the final corral upgrade, earning their 4th square, and then pops the Phosphor Gordo for their 7th Gordo. Jogge needs a slime key, so they pop the Honey Gordo. They then pick up their final slime toy, right as Famaro pops their 8th Gordo, finishing the race in 19 minutes and 42 seconds. Our second race is between SkandianRanger and Feenara. I only have footage from SkandianRanger, but we can see on the board as Feenara makes progress. Right away, SkandianRanger takes a little time to look at the board and make a solid plan for row 4, and then starts with the pink Gordo and getting Honeyboom Largos. Knowing they had to get to the Glass Desert, they continue with the any % route, feeding the Phosphor Gordo, placing plorts, and feeding the Honey Gordo. Right as SkandianRanger pops the Honey Gordo, Feenara pops the Rad Gordo, getting their first square on the board. While SkandianRanger is traveling through the Indigo Quarry, Feenara gets their second square for opening the Ancient Gate. Both players get this square for opening the Ancient Gate, though neither actually use it for the rows and columns they complete. Once inside the ancient ruins, SkandianRanger runs right to the Quantum Gordo and pops it for the first square on their row. They then go to the Glass Desert, feed the Dervish Gordo, and hunt for silver parsnips. While they hunt, Feenara pops the Quantum Gordo, which is also their 4th Gordo and gives them 2 more squares on the board for column 2. SkandianRanger gets their silver parsnips for the Mosaic Gordo and returns home to farm veggies. SkandianRanger then returns to the Indigo Quarry, feeding the Rad Gordo, which is their 6th Gordo, for 2 more squares. They then get a little lost while going towards the Mosaic Gordo, and Feenara gets another square for planting each fruit, giving them their 3rd for column 2. Shortly after, they also sell a Fire Plort, giving them 1 more square. SkandianRanger then makes it up to the Mosaic Gordo and earns their 4th square in their row. Both players are now 1 square away. SkandianRanger has to spend some time farming money to afford the 3 ranch expansions, while Feenara is hunting for echoes and hoping for good RNG. Unfortunately for Feenara, SkandianRanger was able to buy the Overgrowth, the Docks, and the Grotto, getting their last square in 52 minutes and 7 seconds. Our third race is between Supra and sHiek. Right off the bat, sHiek has a game crash, so we will be starting with just Supra's video. Supra starts by doing Pink Gordo, and then starts working on the ancient gate. They then return home with some fruit and briar hens for later. sHiek begins by going to the Indigo Quarry, while Supra continues gathering plorts for the ancient gate. I want to point out that sHiek is going for column 3, which includes not vacking up any pogo fruits or carrots. They both farm some money, and sHiek begins getting a plort farm set up to create their drills. sHiek did misunderstand this square as getting 5 apiaries, drills, and pumps, so they're collecting more slimes for those, while Supra is heading to the Indigo Quarry to get the remaining plorts for the ancient gate, heartbeats for Ogden's trade, and a rooster for their briar hens. Supra then goes to the wilds and gets a spicy tofu, earning their first square. They then buy their 10th upgrade for their second square, locking in to row 4. Supra then opens the ancient gate and earns their 3rd square, bringing the briar hens to pop the Boom Gordo for their 4th square. sHiek then also gets their 10th backpack upgrade and earns their 2nd square, while Supra is in the glass desert searching for prickle pears. While Supra returns home to plant the prickle pears, sHiek heads to the Indigo Quarry to get to and to feed the Crystal Gordo, earning them their 3rd square. sHiek enters the lab and begins putting plorts into the refinery, while Supra heads to the glass desert. Supra arrives at the Dervish Gordo, while sHiek is collecting more plorts, and Supra finishes their final square with a time of 33 minutes and 9 seconds. Due to the late start, sHiek keeps going. After crafting 5 gadgets and earning their 4th square, sHiek becomes aware that it was 5 total and not 5 each. Then all they had to do was make their coop, silo, incinerator, and pond in order to get their final square with a time of 35 minutes and 25 seconds. Well, Supra finished first. Due to the delayed start, sHiek was actually faster, with their run only taking 30 minutes and 38 seconds from when they started. Because of this, both players will be moving on to the winners bracket next week, which also helps give us an even amount of racers for the finals. Our 4th race is between myself and Moo Mania. To start, both runners pop the Pink Gordo and get Honeyboom Largos. While getting upgrades, Rockcan avoids getting the tank booster and earns their 1st square on the board. Rockcan then pops the Phosphor Gordo and begins working on the 5 Largos needed for column 3. Moo Mania then heads to the Moss Blanket, collecting chickens for the range exchange and completing their 1st trade. They then fully upgrade their garden, earning their 1st square and locking in to column 2. Rockcan begins working on the ancient gate as Moo Mania finishes their 2nd trade, and then their 3rd trade. Rockcan returns home with their 4th unique Largo and puddle slimes, while Moo Mania starts feeding the Tabby Gordo. Rockcan then sells 20 puddle plorts, earning their 2nd square. Moo Mania finishes their 4th and 5th trades, earning their 2nd square. As Rockcan opens the ancient gate, Moo Mania pops the Tabby Gordo, earning their 3rd square. Rockcan makes his 5th Largo, though he still needs another corral for this square, as Moo Mania starts opening the ancient gate. Moo Mania then makes 5 pumps, earning their 4th square. Rockcan then places their 5th Largo in its own corral and earns a 3rd square. Rockcan then goes back to the ruins to search for a phase lemon, while Moo Mania opens the ancient gate. They both pop Quantum Gordo and make their way into the glass desert, with Rockcan hunting for a prickle pear, while Moo Mania needs to find 10 tangle plorts. Rockcan finds their prickle pear, and Moo Mania finds a gilded ginger. Moo Mania then pops the Tangle Gordo and gathers up some slimes to bring home, which they place in a corral, feed some chickens, and deposit their 10 plorts to win the race in 51 minutes and 3 seconds. For our final race of week 1, we have SonicGinga versus Mortius versus Charlsst. All 3 players start with popping the pink Gordo, and then gather Honey Boom Largos. Charlsst is the first to get a square by getting a garden fully upgraded. As Mortius buys upgrades, they skip the power core, earning them their first square. Mortius goes to the Indigo Quarry to start gathering food, while SonicGinga pops the Phosphor Gordo. Mortius then fully upgrades a corral to get their second square, followed by SonicGinga fully upgrading a garden for their first square. Both SonicGinga and Charlsst are going for the bottom row, while Mortius is going for the 4th row. Mortius pops the Rad Gordo for their 3rd square. Charlsst pops the Hunter Gordo for their 2nd square, and then SonicGinga pops the Hunter, also for their 2nd square. SonicGinga returns home and plants their first 4 veggies. They then buy the docks, earning their 3rd square, and Charlsst also plants their first veggies. Mortius is the first player to open the Ancient Gate and make it to the Glass Desert, and after gathering a few more rock plorts, they can activate their first fountain. SonicGinga is next into the ruins, and Mortius activates their 2nd and their 3rd fountains. SonicGinga then pops the Tangle Gordo, earning their 4th square. Charlsst buys the docks and earns their 3rd square, as Mortius finds their Prickle Pear, and SonicGinga is on the hunt for their final veggie, the Silver Parsnip. Mortius then activates their 4th fountain and earns their 4th square. As SonicGinga searches for a Silver Parsnip, all Mortius has to do is plant the Prickle Pear and return to the Glass Desert. But just as they arrive at home, SonicGinga finds their final veggie. As Charlsst enters the ruins and Mortius runs to the Glass Desert, SonicGinga is able to teleport home, plant the Silver Parsnip, and complete their final square in 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 47 seconds. Mortius continues to the Glass Desert, and even with an unfortunate death, they are still able to regroup, return to the Glass Desert, and feed the Dervish Gordo in 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 38 seconds, earning them 2nd place. Thanks for watching this first week's highlight video. If you want to see more races, be sure to check out any of the runners over on Twitch, and I'll also have another highlight video for this week's races coming out next week. If you liked this, please consider leaving a like or subscribing, as it helps me out a lot, and I'll see you in another video. Cheers!